Hey guys, welcome back to another video this week. I have something different to show you, and I'm sure you can tell by the thumbnail for this video that it's something I haven't done on my channel before. I didn't go back through my videos, but I'm pretty sure I haven't really done animals. I haven't done any art with animals, well, except for the horse that I showed, and I did do an owl way back when with acrylic paint. But I don't do animals very often because I don't feel that I'm as experienced with drawing animals that I could be, so I am working on that. And I have been doodling a lot of animals in my sketchbooks and everything, and saying that, I'm going to be starting, I'm checking my schedule here, starting on March 2nd. The first Friday of every month is going to be a sketch with me video, and I'm just going to sit down and record myself sketching, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah, the first Friday of every month, starting March 2nd. That's what I'm trying to get out. Okay, so on to this video. So basically, I was given a Copic Airbrush, the gun thingy. I'm going to call it a thingy, for Christmas, and I have an air compressor, so I don't run this with the can of air because I think that's just a complete waste of money. So I do have an air compressor that I have it hooked up to, and because I had the airbrush, I thought, okay, well, it would be better if I had some Frisket as well. Now, before I go any further, for those of you who don't know what Frisket is, you can buy it in sheets, you can get it in rolls, varies in prices. I got a 15-inch by 10-meter roll, I believe it is, for $30, and that came from the UK, I believe. I'm in Canada, but I bought it on Amazon, and it came from the UK. Don't ask. I didn't ask any questions. I just wanted the Frisket, so I bought it. It took 4 weeks to get here, maybe a little bit longer, and I thought that I would use it along with my airbrush, obviously, in this video. And I'm actually working with a coloring page that I created a couple of years ago. So this is an illustration that I did quite some time ago for my coloring books, which are available on my Etsy shop. Just a little plug there. But I wanted to do the video. I wanted to use both together because it's kind of pretty much made for each other, I guess. They're not made by the same company or anything. Frisket is its own brand, I think. But I thought it would be good for using the airbrush. I didn't want to tape the whole picture up and then risk pulling the tape off, wrecking the picture, so I thought the Frisket was the next best thing. And I've also tried using masking fluid before on watercolor paintings as well, and that just completely turned my paintings yellow. So I don't like masking fluid. I did try the Winsor & Newton one. It doesn't say that it's clear, and it dries kind of like an off-white color, but yeah, it did stain my painting, so I opted out of that. So that's the a little bit of information on the Frisket. I'll leave a link down below to the one that I bought. If you want to go check it out, you can. And I just want to say that I have never been so frustrated before in my life, and it was fun to work with, but oh my, was it ever tedious. You'll actually see it's coming up here pretty quickly. I didn't even speed up the segment here where I'm actually cutting out the Frisket pieces, because I just wanted to leave a little tiny bit in there. I think it's like a 2-minute long clip to show you how long it takes to cut out one little tiny piece. So needless to say, I did not record the whole cutting the Frisket and peeling it off because I would have had like a 3-hour long video. And with that said, I'm not very good at using a X-Acto knife, so maybe as I go it might be a little bit easier for me to do. That's what I'm hoping anyway, because I really enjoyed working with it and the results were really neat. It's not like if sometimes you tape off, or I tape off my edges of my watercolor paintings with some painter's tape, and sometimes you get that little bit of paint that gets up underneath and kind of ruins your nice crisp white line around your paintings. Well, nothing went underneath whatsoever. And the only thing is, I don't believe I showed laying down, there we go. We have the Friskets already on the paper, and I forgot to show putting it on there, but, you know, I just peeled off the white paper backing, and I just stuck it on the paper, and then you can start cutting out your image. But what I was trying to say is, the one thing that I've noticed about using the airbrush with this is that I didn't tape off, I didn't use a big enough piece of Frisket to cover the whole picture, because I thought it was going to be a waste anyways. I wasn't really sure what I was going to use this piece for, or if it was even going to turn out really, so I didn't want to mask off the entire page. But I did use it for a button, so you can get, not a button, a sticker. I just finished watching Bailey J's newest vlog, and she's making buttons for a convention that she's going to, so I have buttons on my brain. I don't make buttons. I wish I could, but I don't. But you can get it as a sticker. It's a sticker on my Redbubble shop, so you can head over there if you'd like and check that out. And what else? Yeah, right now I'm just, it takes so long to cut out the Frisket, and I noticed that you have to be very, very careful, and don't press hard, because there's a couple parts of my picture you can't see it now that it's colored, but if you were in person and you look at the paper, you can see that I kind of pushed too hard with the knife in certain places, and I kind of nicked the paper, but it is what it is. I made it in the first like little spot right here that I'm cutting. After that, I kind of learned my lesson, and I was a bit more careful at what I was doing. But you really need to have a light hand to cut the Frisket out, and like I said, I'm very heavy-handed. So right here, I'm just jumping right into using the airbrush. For anyone that would like to know, chow markers do fit in this the Copic Airbrush. The one thing that you would need to keep the marker in, though, because it is slightly loose, is get some stick tack. That's what I use. Or if you have a kneadable eraser that has some tack to it, just rip a piece off, stick it on the bottom of the marker, and push it into the barrel of the gun as you would with the sketch, and it works perfectly fine. The one thing that I did find for myself was that I think I had my airbrush or my compressor set at too high of a level, and I kept getting these streaks on the paper, and even though I was constantly moving back and forth at a steady pace, I guess, it was still streaky. So I went and I did look at some videos after the fact, and I noticed that other people were getting a nice even spray of ink coming out of their marker, and I wasn't getting that, so I have to do a little bit of adjusting with my compressor, I think, and get that set to where it needs to be. It was really fun doing this. I really enjoyed working with the gun. The other thing that I noticed as well, and it's just me because I have small hands, I found the gun very awkward to use, so you kind of have to figure out which way you want to hold it, and I found that wrapping my hand around the top of the gun rather than the cam that's attached to the gun was a little bit easier for me, and it was easier going from there. I would recommend getting it if you enjoy using Copics. I don't feel like it uses more ink than you would if you were to saturate the paper with the brush nib or the chisel tip from the marker. I think that there's a lot less ink used if you were to use the air can, the airbrush. And another neat thing that I had noticed when I was using this as well, that instead of when you use markers on just the paper, you don't get a nice sheen to it. Like it's not glossy or anything. And I found that using the gun with the spray can and whatnot, it was like a nice glossy sheen in the background. It was kind of neat. It kind of stood out a little bit differently than the rest of the picture because I didn't do the whole picture with the airbrush, of course, but it was kind of a neat effect. Now, one thing that I also want to bring up, when you're taking this Frisket off, it's very important to do it slowly, and I did not do that when I first started, and I did rip up some of the paper. I was able to go back in with a black multi-liner or a Copic multi-liner and fix that up, so it wasn't really a big deal, but you need to be careful when you're pulling it off because you can make a mess. The other thing that I also wanted to note, you can see right here that I'm going in and I'm filling in all these little places. That's because of my cutting techniques are horrible, and I miss peeling off the plastic in certain places, so I had to go back in with the marker. I would not recommend going over an area that was sprayed with the Copic marker or the Copic Airbrush with the marker tip, because the coverage is so very thin. As soon as you try, you know, putting more marker on top of it, using the marker, it just lifts off the marker that's on there from using the spray can. So that's something to watch out for as well. So basically the rest of the piece here is just me coloring in the stag or the deer, whatever you want to call it, with the Copic markers and whatnot. So it's pretty straightforward from here. So I'm gonna leave you guys to the rest of the video. I would highly recommend, again, I'm not paid to say this, I would highly recommend getting the Copic Airbrush. I got the set 3 or the third set, package number 3, I don't know how they say it, that just had the can connector, the canister connector, and the air gun in the package. I already had the hose and the compressor myself, so I didn't need to get an air can or anything like that. And the Frisket is really fun to use as well, and I would recommend that product as well. Again, links down in the description if you want to check that out. Thumbs up from me. I'm not being paid to say this, even though I wish I was, but I'm not. I do really genuinely enjoy the products, and thumbs up for that. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them down below. And if you have any advice on using the Copic Airbrush or the Frisket, you can leave that down in the comment section below as well. So I'm just going to leave you guys with a little bit of music here. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Let me know if you enjoyed my my deer video here, and if you guys would like to see more animals, please let me know, because I really enjoyed doing this and I wouldn't mind doing some more. And as I said, keep in mind that starting on March 2nd, which is the first Friday of March, and the first Friday in every month going forward, I'm going to have a sketch with me video. And yeah, we're going to try that out and see how that goes. Anyhow, guys, that's all I have to say for today. I hope you guys are having a great week and enjoy the upcoming weekend. And I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye for now.